We are live on LinkedIn, just waiting for YouTube. And here we are. Okay. Whenever we decide that we want to have an upgrade in our personal life, we go for vacations, we get married, we give birth to children. Professional life, we get the appraisal, the promotions, or even when we want to really take it all the way to the next level, we just introduce ourselves to these new experiences. Now, what happens when an experience works? What happens when an experience does not work? What are the ingredients that comes into building such an experience? Today's episode, very special episode number 76. 70. Yet again, I messed up with the banner and all. I have to stop this habit. It's episode number 77, and you're with Dr. Surya here. Before we reveal something more special, sneak peek, we have just completed one round of Speak to Lead live cohort. And this is after 4 years when we did our very first ever cohort, but that was called as Speak Your Soul's Speechcraft under Speak Magic Toastmasters Club in Toastmasters International. So if you just go and type Speak Your Soul Speechcraft on YouTube, you'll be able to find all the 8 episodes that we did. And to this date, that is one of the greatest experiences that Yogeshwari and I had. Back then, we were in the Toastmasters, and that was one of the criteria for our prestigious, distinguished Toastmasters title. So December, you take that speak your soul speechcraft, you multiply it by 1,000 times more impact, 1,000 times outcome, 1,000 times less time, 1,000 times less efforts. All you have to do is show up and get that entire success. Now, from December, now we have already started the January cohort, and we are still in the process of figuring things out. So today's episode is when we will be walking you through all the updates and upgrades that's going to happen one step at a time, unfolding it through. Now, we also realize that this is a conversation that we wanted to record as a part of our Sun's Den podcast. So I felt, why not really use this opportunity to do a multiple set of things? Now, to ensure that all of things are taken care of, we have a very surprise guest, and this was a last moment request. And guess what? Every single time I request for a conversation, this woman will never say no. I'm talking about my best half. I want to put it that way. Let's get ready. Okay. So first questions first. When I told you that let's record a podcast, what was the first thought in your mind?
The first thought is I'm yet to complete my sprouts and I'm supposed to keep eating while I'm speaking. And surprise live always excites me because I'm not prepared. Whatever I'm going to speak, it's completely impromptu. It's based on the preparations that I've been doing over the years. And the best thought process has been when I was in that flow so far, and I'm always excited for that.
Absolutely magical. And it always feels so good also, because I feel when we both are interacting, it's always 1 plus 1 equals 11. And that's always been the case from the very first time when I heard her call over the phone. We exchanged numbers and we planned for a phone call. The butterflies are still there, intact. It's increased, if not more, because Yogeshwari has grown to be even more beautiful and gorgeous, and all those things are definitely there. So, before we get into the updates part, that is what we will be recording as a podcast also, Yogeshwari, where I'll be turning on the Zoom button, and we will be recording that, which will again go as our podcast episode for today, because it's Saturday, and Wednesday and Saturdays is when Sunsden podcast happens. Sunsden is the channel where we are uploading all our behind the scenes stuff of our business, so that we're just documenting it publicly. Simple as that. There's no other reason as such. But before we do that, obviously that will also be recorded as this live. I want you to implore and share with us your thoughts on shifting from the membership model or the webinar model of courses creation and delivering that kind of an impact to the audience, to the cohort model, where I am able to feel, and I think you'll also agree with me, that this is a model where we are enjoying so much and able to give those enormous breakthroughs in a shorter period of time, although it took us, what, 7 years to build that. But I just want you to just share with us and walk across the pre part of it, like transitioning from those models which are right now the most prominent in the world, but we are seeing that slowly it's shifting it, especially if you want to give results. So I want to just eavesdrop into your brain, and I want to know what are your thoughts even before we started preparing for this.
I'm glad that this is not the first time I'm hearing this question. And I remember that we had had this conversation multiple times over the last month, especially where between us and also among our peers who are into the same field and everything. And we actually had in-depth conversation about this one particular topic, which helps me to right now save all your time and put it into a single sentence, which is the webinar model and the levels, like by level 1 and level 2 and all of those things, are volume game. A cohort where live interaction happens, results are the primary focus. This is a personalized coaching model. Now, as we are completely into organic, we are not running ads, we are not massively pushing the cohort. Rather, we want to build and establish the trust. And our major platform is YouTube and LinkedIn. And we want to connect with you all over our content. You get to know us fully even before you sign up with us, even before you pay a single penny. In fact, we go to an extent and we recommend that watch our content. See whether you are vibing with us. Only and only if you feel that whatever we are saying makes sense, we get to inspire you. Start implementing what we shared. Now, only and only if you get results from whatever you are implementing after learning from us, then join. Otherwise, please don't join. You're wasting your time, you're wasting our time. Now, we were able to understand this, and cohort is a model that is supporting us to do this because we are working with handful of people. We have capped it to 5 from the upcoming batch because the last couple of batches, like December batch and January batch, we were able to see that massive transformation. And what we feel is if we cap it to 5 people, we can give more attention, and success rate is 100% for sure. No way you can fail. And that is what cohort model is all about. When it comes to webinar and then signing up, it's a volume game where a lot of people would join at the same time for a lower price comparatively. $1,000, $2,000. And then what happens? You don't know where to start. You don't know how it all happens. And there's no proper stipulated time limit. In cohort, we guarantee you transformation in 30 days. In fact, just yesterday and day before yesterday, I was evaluating all our participants. It's a process that we do within the cohort. And I'm able to see in first 2 weeks, January has started, only 2 weeks has passed. And this batch, in first 2 weeks, they've already attained 70% of transformation. And rest of the 30% happens in the rest of the 2 weeks. And that's what we are looking forward for.
I mean, just that little add on. These are not our words, by the way. These are their words. Because every session we're asking them, how much percentage do you think you've grown? Yeah, Yogeshwari, you can continue. Yeah.
As you said that these are their words, like these are not some random numbers. Rather, these are well calculated and measured growth. How do we measure? First, there are certain basic technicalities when it comes to speaking. Now, once you fix that, you get 70% of your confidence. You feel that. Everyone who listens to you feel that. As a trainer, I feel that. Moving forward, the rest of the 30% is what the finesse of your speech. From nowhere, speaking completely out of the blue, rambling, struggling, going blank, wondering what will I even speak, to any topic given in a snap, you can construct your thought process, and you can speak with well structured format, your anyone who listens to you will feel that you have the power in you to capture their attention just with your first line. You take them through your story, and you end with fire and power, which will leave them with, wow, what did I just listen to? And this transformation happens in first 2 weeks. Imagine the kind of transformation you will go through in the next 2 weeks. And that's what we are doing. And for us, we cannot play the volume game because we cannot give the attention to everyone. What we want is we want committed individuals so that we can work with them. And all it takes is 30 days. And I still couldn't believe our first participant said, Yogeshwari, what I struggled with 30 years, you and Surya helped me to fix in 30 days. Look at the transformation. It was a shock even for me. As a trainer, even we couldn't believe that someone could go through this for 30 years. And even we couldn't believe until we did it that we can bring transformation in 30 days. Over to you, Surya.
Very interesting. And I think I'm going to give Yogeshwari a bit of a breather right now to repost this particular link in her LinkedIn. That way, people can definitely join us live for this entire conversation if they wish to. Now, I'll tell you, we tried the webinar model, and it's not that we did not enjoy it. But you look at all when we were doing the analysis, proper analysis in one of the previous episodes, if you remember, I spoke about how do I approach whether I want to join a particular coaching program or not. I don't look at the success stories or the testimonials, but rather the student to success ratio. And that is one of the foundational principles that we wanted to establish. And we knew for sure that people who join a webinar, it's like people will watch the ad, limited amount of it will join, show up for the webinar. Limited amount of it will even pay the money to join. People who pay the money to join, limited amount of it is going to go through the process because the process is always too overwhelming, and it's always do it yourself. No matter how much of efforts you put in, we've been a part of some of the biggest communities across the globe as well as India, and we saw the gaps. We wanted more close, intimate, tight, knit, safe, sacred space where action taking and showing up are the only things that you require in order to get the success. Everything else, the system takes care of you. Now, obviously, at some point of time, we are going to scale up, but not until we are genuinely assured. It's like when you learn how to read ABCD, you can frame words. When you can frame words, you can frame sentences and then paragraphs and then novels or whatnot. We know that it's a method that works. The same way there are certain teachers and coaches who do things in a way that they make you an expert of the same. That's what we wanted. This should be pretty much commoditized. And the way that we do it, the system in itself, well, the reason why we're able to put it out so effectively is because we know that no one on this planet they can replicate the system, but they cannot replicate the experience that we give people and the individual traits that comes in as well. So now, keeping this foundation, we are going to move on straight away to the main agenda for today, which is also going to be a podcast. So here's what we do. Okay, well, here's what I believe in doing is in multitasking. So, for example, I know that anyways I have to record this podcast with Yogeshwari, and I just took her permission. Why not record? Anyways, we are recording it. We don't want to do any edits or whatsoever. Within the live itself, I'll turn on the recording and we'll record this entire podcast so that you behind the scenes through this live can see how easily we are able to plan, design, and immediately execute, because 2026 is the year when we want to focus purely on execution. So just before I start that entire thing, and that's when the interaction of the upgrades and everything is going to start, my question to Yogeshwari will be, obviously we've been together now, what I think this is the 6th year we are gonna be together. So for me, it's a very big moment of pride. I'm not sure why Yogeshwari is confused. She's looking confused. Everything okay, right? Okay. Yeah. Whenever I see Yogeshwari serious, I get a little worried. No, that's yeah. Yeah, we always love seeing Yogeshwari smile, and we look gorgeous and bubbly always, isn't it? So, oh, guess what? I even forgot the question. No, I remembered. So my question is the importance of learning versus execution is what we experienced specifically in the last 3 months. now that we are doing daily lives, you are creating content, you're talking to a lot of people, so many different touch points. We have also started seeing the results. When we had that initial discussion back in October, you told me it's going to take 8 months of daily lives to be able to create the results, but we've been able to see that in literally less than uh, I remember our first student signed up within 15 days of us starting our live, because he signed up in the month of I think October itself, but the December the batch is going to start. Something like that happened. So I want your thoughts on the just learning or just passively going through videos or stuff versus the actual execution of it. Uh, what has what do you think has shifted once we started that? What are your thoughts on the difference between learning and execution? And then we will dive into the main thing. So if you can share your thoughts.
Along with learning and execution, I would like to add one more spokes over there, which is feedback. The other spoke is implementing the feedback. So the loop gets completed once you learn, you execute, you get feedback, you implement the feedback, and that's when you move from step 1 to step 2. Now, if this loop is missing, then it's as good as not learning at all. So previously, as Surya said, we did try the webinar model courses. The biggest drawback of all of those things is not knowing whether you're doing it correctly or not. And that completely delays the result. Now here, as we are completely focused on result-oriented coaching, the major aspect of Speak to Lead is you join, you learn a concept, you implement the concept within the session. As simple as that. Because the concept is going to be very simple. We teach you as if we teach to a 5-year-old. So it is extremely simple for you. You implement it immediately and that gets into your muscle memory. So you don't need notes to go through again. You don't have to remember everything. It is already installed inside you. The entire week, you go back, we tell you exactly what to practice and how to practice. You just do that. Now, when you do that, we'll watch your videos. And personally, Surya and I will give you feedback. Now, how will we give feedback? We won't bombard you with 100 things that you need to change. That's not how it works. We'll tell you what are the best things that you are already good at so that you can strengthen them. And one tiny tweak that you have to change from the next video. Now, I'll tell you. You might ask me, Yogeshwari, how can this one tiny tweak can bring transformation? I've seen it bringing transformation in people. Just that one tweak. Yes, Surya, over to you.
It's fascinating because specifically in the last 3-4 days, I was completely down and out with health issues. And because I'm taking care of the entire back end completely, this entire month has been more towards giving that good world-class experience to people. So as this whole thing we are doing it, I'll tell you there are multiple hats that we are wearing. Yogeshwari is shifting between marketing to sales to a coach to a presenter to a trainer. Same thing for me. I'm having a tech ops and then landing page creator, copywriter, and then systems builder, and then again getting into the trainer mode in the cohort and all that. So the moment health gets depleted, it's not possible for me to give the feedback. But Yogeshwari, and that's the part where I feel we both blend in so wonderfully. When she's not available, I'm doing it. When I'm not available, she's doing it. The students are getting the results. That's what matters. And the fact that I conducted session number 1 to session number 2, blown away with the transformation. Session number 2, session number 3, blown away with the results. Session number 3, today's like just after this thing is yeah, today's session number 4, and it's so crazy. I am already excited because the session itself starts with practice, and I can witness it, I'll tell you it could be something wrong in me. I don't know what it is, but it just feels like, oh my god, my dear babies are growing so nicely, and I would get this feeling all the time. I mean, it sounds weird, I know, but that's the kind of vibe that I give them. They feel, and I'm always there for them. And now Yogeshwari gets to witness that because she's the one who's giving the feedback and actually seeing how they're implementing it, and it's working like magic. So that's why in the next part of today's podcast, as well as this live, you will get to see how we are decoding that in the form of communication frameworks in the podcast in terms of the upgrades. So I just wanted to add this little point. Yeah, please continue, Yogeshwari. Yeah.
Yeah, even I feel that, oh my God, the transformation that a child is going through, from just squeaking to opening the mouth and saying the first word. That's the transformation and the beauty that even I feel within me. Kind of we are like, I mean, I don't know, it's weird, but it feels so good to see that transformation. And to summarize the point that I was sharing, every tweak is not just a random suggestion, it is psychologically based. It defines how your confidence is going to build. For example, right now, imagine I'm just looking down somewhere or looking at myself or looking at Surya, or just I'm just thinking and I'm doing this, looking somewhere else. What would I do? Do you even feel connected to me? Now I'm looking at the lens. I'm pausing. I'm lowering my tone. I'm coming forward and I'm speaking to you. How do you feel? This is the power. Yeah.
No, you just asked, how do you feel? I'm feeling pretty amazing.
So, this tiny tweak, look into the camera pinhole, that sharpens your confidence like never before. When you rewatch your video, you will know what I'm trying to say. So, nothing is a tiny tweak. It's all well rooted in human psychology, in how you think, how you feel, how you are going to feel. And with this, I'm wrapping up my thoughts. Surya, over to you.
Just a follow-up thought again. And mind you, all these things are what we learned by reading the books, going through courses. I mean, I'm a geek, I'm nerdy when it comes to these stuff. I've realized that. Yogeshwari is nerdy in her own way. I read a book, I speed read a book, I photo read a book, so I can read a book pretty fast. Yogeshwari, on the other hand, she reads and listens to the same book at the same time. The book and the audiobook, it's crazy. So we are all nerdy in that manner, but you don't need to know all of that, isn't it? You don't need to know. You need to don't need to have a PhD in psychology or a persuasive frameworks and all those things. You don't need those theories. All you need to have is those installations deep inside, so that you can have access to them every single time as you want. It's like your weaponry, your artillery that is embedded deep inside, and you can use it and see the results. There's no experience better than actually experiencing the magic when it unfolds. And for us to see that in them, and that's why I feel for us testimonials are not going to matter, because anyways it doesn't matter in today's world. Written testimonials, video testimonials, it's, I mean, it's there, it's going to be a part of it because it's a part of marketing frameworks. But for us, the real result is the before, middle, and after transformation videos. It's those case studies that you will see our students being invited live in these daily live episodes, or the coffee and communication with Yogeshwari, and you will get to witness them breaking the entire thing down, which we don't even have to, because they are the ones who've been through the transformation. So with that, and big thank you, Yogeshwari, for being able to categorize it and giving us examples as well. And this is where things become so much interesting. We don't tell you what to do, we show you how to do it, and then we make you do it through modeling and mimicking. You create your own version of it, and we tell you to tweak automatically. Okay, fine, this is exactly to such an extent where I think in the 30-day cohort has got changed and upgraded to 10 weeks. Phase one is when you do your self-reflection activities. Phase two is when you're doing the whole immersion with us. Phase three is when you graduated and you're mentoring the next batch. When you mentor the next batch, what we understood, we have one mentor right now. Yogeshwari was just giving one feedback, okay, in one of just the last live session. Sir, I feel this is exactly what you do. Yeah, Yogeshwari, I understood. I understood. And then the next day he gave that video. He posted that in the group, and he is like, I was able to implement it, and I've understood where I was going wrong. This is what we need, isn't it? Especially as leaders. So big thank you, Yogeshwari, for being for doing that. Now we will move further to the actual podcast, and this is me hitting the live button again. The topic for this podcast is simply the upgrades and the updates that we are having. So I have already sent Yogeshwari the list of points. We won't be discussing all the points. We probably jumble up a lot of points and put together. There are certain points that are redundant as well, and it doesn't make any sense also to keep talking about the same points over and over again, or points which are not relevant. We will definitely be skipping them, so you will not be get to see all those points quite usually. It's just between me and Yogeshwari. We'll only take the points that matter. So with that, let me kickstart the recording. Okay. And now kickstarting the recording also means, I think I'll turn on the transcript so you will be able to see everything. And let's see. Okay. Welcome. Oh, wait, did I turn on the video? Okay. Yeah. Welcome to yet another Sun's Den podcast episode. I am with the very beautiful and magical Yogeshwari, and today is a special one because before we get into the actual execution, we wanted to open you up on what has been going on with Speak to Lead. At this point of us doing this parallelly, I'll tell you, we are also doing our daily live. So if you want to know more in detail, go and visit the daily live episode. I'll drop the link below. If you're new here, hit that like and subscribe button. Stay with us because you'll understand what does it take to create a world-class cohort, and then the improvement that comes in with it. So I have exactly a list of 25 points with in front of me. I'm not going to discuss all the 25 points. We'll take buckets of points, and then I have Yogeshwari to help me out with the same. So before we get started, so far, just in quick manner, Yogeshwari, how has the cohort experience been so far? And now that we created that 25 points, how did we come to those 25 points? If you can just give us that journey, that would, I think, that will set the context beautifully. Over to you.
The cohort experience made me feel that this is what we are born to do. We have been training ourselves for last 7 years, and this is what it all culminates to. We've been jumbling and juggling with, okay, should I do a webinar? Should I create levels? Should I enroll people? And we tried all of those things. None of it worked for us. Right now, what is beautifully working for us is this cohort model where we just work with handful of people. We have capped it to 5. Working with them is helping them first and helping us as well in order to make it better for the upcoming batch. So far, what I'm able to see is whatever we have created is version 1, though it is strong and powerful. Still, it's version 1. Only when it gets tested, we'll know what are the loopholes and gaps. So from December batch and right now, half of the January batch, what I'm able to understand is the cohort model is great. However, it can always have an upgrade. And the major upgrade that I'm able to see is there are certain basic instructions that need to be given to our participants. Now, once they understand that, even before stepping into the cohort, they'll be equipped to have a 50% transformation in the very first session. Now, that will help them if they start practicing with all the instructions already in place inside their head. And we guide them how to put it into practice in the very first session. Whatever they're going to practice in the very first video, the baseline video and their first video itself will have a drastic contrast. Yes, Surya.
Just to add a little, taking a step back, the approach is very simple. People go through our content and they're interested and they want to join for the cohort. The moment they make the payment, immediately they fill up an onboarding form where we understand their communication challenges, their goals, their aspirations, everything. I sit in a one-to-one with them and I break the entire thing down. Once that is done, they're added into the phase 1 of the Speak to Lead cohort. Before it was 30 days, now it's 10 weeks. So automatically, and this is something that we are already discussing as a part of the first point which we worked exactly last slide, which is about updating all this in the landing page, because all the things that we are now discussing is what just yesterday itself we updated the landing page. So phase one is when you do the foundations, orientation and everything. You get to do the self reflection exercises, but then we realize that there are certain foundation pieces which takes up until 2 weeks for us to see those changes in the people. What if we are able to create those frameworks as a part of a go through video on demand model within the orientation itself, so that these fundamentals, we don't have to keep giving them the evaluations and feedback over and over again, which is a crazy thing. And that has happened because at, as we are running the cohort, we are parallelly looking at everything. Again, everything is related to the results and outcome of our ideal customer. So everything that is needed, we are allowing ourselves a permission to go through it, from a trainer, from an evaluator, from a feedback giver, to a participant, to a from a participant's perspective, the feedback forms, all of these things is giving us that direct feedback, and that's why we're immediately implementing in the form of upgradations. So once when we do the one-to-one and they finish their entire phase one exercises, self-reflection exercise, 14 of the world's most powerful self-reflection exercises that I have ever done, that gets you so much to know about yourself. There's so much new things you learn. There's so much existing things. Then you start the live sessions, which happens twice in a week. And then between the two live sessions, you make videos every day and you evaluate other fellow participants' videos. And Yogeshwari and I kind of oversee the entire thing, and we evaluate their videos as well. The mentors also evaluates the in order to complete their entire journey. So they evaluate the next batch, and that's the phase two. Then comes phase three. Phase three is when you're mentoring. Now, phase two ends with you delivering a speech in front of our audience in this exact live kind of a setup. So we create that pressure and the hype that, oh my God, so many amazing people are connecting, which we know because we are going to creating a cycle around it. The whole world is, this is literally going to be one of those events where the world is going to be waiting for, oh my God, oh, now Suryadeep and Yogeshwari's own your stage showcase is going to happen. Some crazy stories and crazy speeches is what we're going to experience. So this is the overall foundation. And this is what we updated in the landing page. So now my question throws back to Yogeshwari. Obviously, please continue with the same thought that you were sharing. The importance of having those foundations locked in. And once you are done, if you can also explore a little bit more and move on also on how was your experience putting all those things in the landing page. How did that make you feel? I think right now at this point of time our landing page has 31 Q&As, FAQs, frequently 31. It's crazy. Over to you.
So as I was sharing that, your first that first one little step will help you understand the drastic change between your first video and the baseline video that you are creating. And moving forward, it actually helps us to understand, other than the generalized suggestions and feedbacks that are applicable to everyone, what is that one tweak that I need to push inside you. I need to help you see that, so that your transformation from 50, it shoots up to 80. Now, I'll be able to do that once you fix the foundation and then start implementing all of those foundations. And then the next layer will automatically get peeled and it'll help us to grow drastically. What I'm able to see is, we have just promised people that in 30 days we'll make you speak. The way it is getting crafted right now, with all the upgrades and everything, within 30 days we'll not just make you speak, we'll make you speak world class. That's the thing that I'm able to foresee right now with the changes. Now coming to the landing page. Landing page, we have included every possible questions that you can ever think about, because these are not the questions that came from us. These are not the questions we blindly took from ChatGPT. These are questions asked by participants. Even before they joined, they asked us all of these questions. We compiled them, we added them as the FAQ. So you might also be having those questions, and the FAQ is going to answer all of your doubts. And the best part is, every single time anyone goes through that landing page, they feel like there's no need to talk to Yogi and Surya, because they have already, they feel like they've already known us, they've already talked or have spoken to us, they've already, they're inside our brain. because we have literally took the crux of whatever our thought process and we have put that into the landing page, and I'm really happy. And the best part, the highlight, is the golden badge, and I want Surya to talk about it because his excitement is another level. Surya, over to you.
Oh my God, this is crazy one. Okay. So I have been, the previous organization that I worked for, I always feel that when you have an international body giving you that stamp of authority, that forget about the fact that you are having that credibility with you, the fact that an international body is certifying you, it takes your game to a whole new level. Your level of preparation, your level of execution, and everything goes all the way to the new level. So when we got the CPD accredited logo, the accredited certificate from the CPD group, and now we are using that logo in our landing page straight away, which definitely gives us so much of responsibility also to take whatever it is that we are doing all the way to the next level right now. 3.5 years of effort, 3.5 months of effort right now got culminated to us getting that entire thing. And of course, we are still in the process of figuring things out of how many CPD points it's going to be. But definitely that is also mentioned in the landing page and that it will be upgraded very, very soon. Now, just a follow-up point on this only, Yogeshwari. Of course, we did discuss about the landing page. Now, the way we are actually crafting the entire program. Because if you look at the upgrades right now, phase one, they're going through self-reflection activities, which is a lot of quiz-based stuff to begin with. Then there, I think we probably thinking that even before you do that self-reflection, you have to make a baseline video completely from scratch. So the moment you finish an onboarding call, that is when you immediately have to make a baseline video, upload it, and some that's what we are thinking and kind of brainstorming what's best. We'll probably come up with that. Phase one is when they're doing a lot of quizzes. After the quizzes, now they'll be going through those fundamentals and foundations of communication, those looking into the camera, uh, not starting with good morning, good evening, and all those things, not ending in an abrupt manner. Those very basic foundations which no one, like there's repeated patterns which has been going on and on and on and over again. Then they get into a proper live immersion, which is more of speaking, learning, speaking, practicing, evaluation. And then between the two sessions, they're doing videos and they're doing evaluations of other fellow of themselves as other fellow participants also, in a manner that it is getting how do you say, the leaderboard and everything. So there are so many different methodologies, ways, that includes both the visual, kinesthetic, visual, auditory, and kinesthetic elements, and it makes a complete package of experience. So now, my question to you, Yogeshwari, is when you compare this with what we created back in December, and by the way, every single thing is documented. The entire cohort upgrades are all documented. The question and answers are documented. The process, the learning aids, every single thing is documented so that it's easy for us and we can literally do it. Even if some B2B office calls us and can you deliver this program to us in 3 days? Yes, we can deliver it to you because we are having the system in place and we are seeing the system is working like magic. I mean, if it works for one person, it can be a fluke. Two people, fine, okay, but three, four, five people, I think it's something that works and it's just going to continue to become better. So I want you to shower the light on the difference between when we started out and what's the upgrade happening right now, and also the fact that we are having all those things in place, what kind of a mental stability or that peace thing you are experiencing, the fact that we have all the things in place.
Even today at 7:30 we have a session. And usually when there is a session, I don't engage in any other things because I'm busy in preparing for that session. And I don't feel comfortable to do anything else. But right now, if you see, we are sitting and we are actually recording a podcast and it's almost 5:15 right now. I'm not worried at all because everything is already prepared. And that is the comfort that I'm feeling. All I need to do is just open my notes, give it a glance, and I'm ready to deliver because we have done it multiple times. This is the second time for our cohort, but I've given this as a keynote speech multiple places. I've over and over spoken about this on my live. We have also done that in Toastmasters. So It's already inside. The notes are just as a guiding light to us, where to start, how to have the flow, and where to end, so that we are keeping it within the time. And the best part I love is our cohort, every session is 2 hours, and every segment in between is timed. Even our lecture on any concept is timed. If we say 15 minutes, we finish we finish the Q&A of the participants within 15 minutes, and that's what I'm proud of. Because it's like anyone can speak for hours and hours together. Not knowing where to start, where to end, audience would be completely scattered. They would not even know why is this person sitting and talking in front of me. The best part is a great speech is all about, you need to know what is your time boundary. You need to know where are you starting intentionally, how are you ending intentionally, and what is that takeaway that you want your audience to have. Now, as we have done it multiple times, it's there right in front of us as a structure. It becomes a cakewalk for us, and that is the comfort that I have. Surya, what about you?
I think same pinch. I don't. There's nothing literally that I can add in this. It really feels magical. And the fact that Saturday is usually our podcast recording day. We record. I mean, I personally record 2 podcasts minimum with Yogeshwari, and then 2 podcasts with my brother. In fact, right now also he called. I have to somehow ensure that this ends, and then I have to record that, and then 7:30 we have the session. So it's crazy. The best part is when you have the system sorted, everything else works like magic. So far we've discussed what are the changes we did, landing page updates, the system changes, putting things all together. Next thing that I'd like to talk to you about, Yogeshwari, are these yeah creating the report card and the letter of recommendation. I mean, we really uh, yesterday I think we nailed a little bit of it. We were discussing with AI, so we used AI as a third brain to give us a unique perspective. So what are your thoughts on that upgrade? I mean, it sounds really amazing, isn't it? And the fact that we have the report card planned also in that level. Yesterday we had that discussion. So if you can share some light on that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Surya is hardcore certificate, what do I call, maniac. He keeps collecting certificates after certificates. And if you give him scores, you scored this much, you have these many points to collect, he would go to any extent to collect those points. And on the other hand, I believe in inculcation of the skill. Even if I score 100 out of 100, if I'm not strong in it, if I'm not confident of that skill, what's the point of having a score? Now, you see, we are two polar opposites. And this polar opposites is our strength as well as our weakness. Previously, before starting this cohort for last 5 years, it acted as our weakness and it created rifts between us because we couldn't come to a common ground. And this is just one example. We are polar opposites in everything, literally everything. People say, oh my God, you people are so good together. You people don't fight. Is it what? Don't fight. We pull each other's head every single time. Every time we sit for a conversation, for a discussion, it it snapped out to an extent where we decided that I'm not going to ever look at your face ever again and talk about this particular thing. From that, right now, we have inculcated the leadership attribute of how to turn this one thing that we are two different personalities and polar opposites. And so far, it's acting out as a weakness. How can we turn it the same thing? We are still the same, but our approach is different. And right now, it's our biggest strength. Cohort is a brainchild of two polar opposite individuals. And what we have understood is as we are the extremes, when we slowly walk up and understand the other person's perspective, that's when we come to a common ground, which is literally a superpower. And the best part right now, we have AI as our third brain to help us. What do? We know that I have an experience, Surya have his own experience, but AI has the best brains in the world. So we share our perspectives and we ask AI, see, this is what I think as a yogi. This is what Surya thinks. Now tell me, what is your perspective? Now AI beautifully finds out the decodes it. Neither yogi is wrong nor Surya is wrong. Both of them are correct in their own way. But how to put it is what defines everything. And the report card and letter of recommendation is one such thing. I believe that I'm working with leaders. They are leading people and they are directly reporting to their founders, to their CEOs. And seriously, letter of recommendation, I feel like, why do I feel I'm getting the vibe of a small school child holding mom's hand and going to the teacher, teacher, I'm having fever. This is my leave letter. Can I get the leave? And when I shared this to Surya, he opened up a different perspective altogether. And he said that it's not that you are asking for permission, it is that you are sharing your growth with your managerial level so that when they see the shift, when you publicly show your accountability, today I'm starting my communication growth. Within 2 weeks, if they see a transformation in the way you approach you, in the way you speak, won't they come and ask you what are the magic that you're doing? And don't you feel you are responsible to inform your superiors about this? So that this opened up another level of awareness for me so that they see you, that you are growing in your personal skills. This holds as a strong leverage during your appraisal. They can never tell you that you haven't grown. You have intimated them that you are taking initiatives to grow with whatever awareness that you have. Right now, you need communication, so you have taken the initiative to grow. Now, if they feel there is a gap in you, it is their responsibility to tell you, okay, yeah, right now you're working on your communication. Now, the next thing is work on your leadership. Now, if they tell you, the next step you're going to take is that. Now, that literally opened up. And when we both shared our perspective to AI, that's when our magical Clara, she suggested she's the CTO or CFO. Who is she for us? One
Uh,
minute.
She's a she's the COO, the Chief Operating Officer.
So our CEO, Clara, AI, she gave us a brilliant third angle, which is Yogeshwari is right in her perspective. Surya is right in his perspective. Yogeshwari is thinking about individual identity. Surya is thinking about the leverage that individual is going to have over his organization or over her organization. Now, instead of putting it as letter of recommendation, put it as letter of recognition. Or Surya, please help us with the right terminology.
No, while you are sharing this, you can continue. I'll immediately open up the landing page and I'll tell you exactly what it is. Yeah, so you can continue. I'll just open it and I'll share. Yeah.
So Surya will open the landing page and you will get to see the transformation AI gave us on our perspective. It literally took our ideas and it gave us a massive upgradation. How the founder of a $1 billion company would think. Now, Surya and I, we have two brains with the brain of a multiple $1 billion organization founders. Yeah, Surya, over to you.
So it's called the optional professional development recognition. And the terminology that also came in was professional development recognition intimation letter. That was the initial word, and then we decided to keep it less jargon free. Yeah, that was the word. Yeah, over to you.
Now, this touch point, I gave a thumbs up because my eyes were having bulbs on. I was like, wow, this is amazing. Surya gave a thumbs up because he felt like this is a great upgrade to have. And right now, yes, we are polar opposites, but we are coming together to create some world class stuff. So, Yogi and Surya alone, we are like crap. But Yogi and Surya together, we are the next revolution, I would say. Over to you, Surya.
Oh, I'll tell you, when I decided that I'm going to do this episode solo live, and then something inside, and I'm following my guts like anything, like never before from 2026 onwards, because I'm turning 30 this year and all. Never in my wildest of dreams, I thought it's going to turn out to be this amazing and this interesting. And that's the magic that Yogi and Surya brings in together. You know? We all have our respective strengths and weaknesses, and it's only now that we are uniting it together, turning weaknesses into learnings, turning strengths and literally compounding on it together. That's what brings us to the third point for our upgrade, which is the feedback process and the reporting process. So it's more like the points that I have in front of me, Yogeshwari, right now. First is creating a waitlist form for interested students, because we know that we have been getting all those inbound requests. Second is the trust pilot review setup, the uh, before after tangibility proof video setup, and the proper feedback check in the form of the feedback forms and everything. uh, I want you to share your thoughts on the importance of how each of these pieces helps everyone, the students, us as cohort conductors, facilitators, and all, as well as the future students who are going to look at all of these details in the landing page. Here's one very interesting thing about a landing page. A landing page is simply, if you look at it in simple terms, you want to sign up for something, it's a page that includes all possible details that you can go through and then take a calculated decision whether you would like to go ahead with it or not. Ideally, it should include all there is to know about the cohort, all there is to know about the trainers, all there is to know, all the FAQs, possible questions that you can have, all the objections that you can have, everything filled in, so that even after that, if you have something, you can obviously discuss and come up. So all these things are already updated. So if you can sweep us through the whole experience of what all these little feedback loop gives, the perspective and the thoughts to both the student, the us as facilitators, and the future students who are aspiring to join the live cohort. Over to you.
The first thing about students, when we receive feedback, we signal to them that we are all yours. They are important. Their thoughts are important. Their emotions are important. What they feel is important. And that is considered seriously for an upgrade. Now, that builds a lot of trust. That's for the present students. As a facilitator for us, we wouldn't know if we are not going through any program. For example, we have been through multiple communication courses. At that time, as a student, whatever is our understanding, we would have learned it. And right now, we are facilitating it. We are not going through the transformation. Now, in that case, we are standing at the other side of the coin. The student's perspective is completely blind to us. How would we know whether they are enjoying or not, whether they are growing or not? Now, Surya and I, what we have faced is at the beginning, during December cohort as well as January cohort, the first week, we gave them certain instructions and they were doing it. Few of them, they were not doing it. Few of them, they were doing it rarely. Now, one angle is, oh, you're not following the instruction. The other angle Surya and I always take is if they're not doing something, which means there is a deeper cause. No one would want to pay such a lump sum amount and then not take action. There's a deeper cause. So we sit with them, we understand what are they struggling with, and most of the time we come up with issues that are deeply rooted, and their inaction is just a symptom. We don't charge the symptom, we feel the root cause. Now, if we don't listen to them, they'll not tell us. We'll not know. We'll do the same thing over and over again. They'll struggle. At the end of the day, the objective of us focusing on the result it will get stalled. And we don't want that. So that's why we always be all ears to their feedback. Finally, about the future students. Now, these feedbacks help us to upgrade the cohort month after month. So, anyone who is joining the next month will always get a better experience and a quicker result. That's our focus so far. What do you think, Surya?
It's really very interesting how you just tapped right into the core. The moment we get into the root cause, what happens is that point again is turning out as one of the FAQs if required and gets added in the list. We create immediately systems and processes. We tweak the program. We set the agenda. Like in our first cohort, there were certain deliverables that went way beyond 40-45 minutes. We crunched it down to 15 minutes. We started the alarm, the timer thing, and every single time we are just upgrading, tweaking, upgrading, and tweaking. And that's what you will see all throughout 2026. It's inevitable. Here's another very interesting thing. If we are able to bring in the transformation with one cohort, can't we do more? Create more cohorts, create more such transformations with respect to a completely new topic altogether. And because we've created that entire thing as a system, well, we literally can redefine the way education takes place in the industries. And we know that there are certain institutions who've been going all guns blazing. In fact, when you look at some of the world's greatest institutions, the fact that they're able to bring in that transformation is through stuff like cohorts and hackathons and full-fledged implementations. So it's definitely mind boggling. And again, these are the inputs that we've had. Now, the final point that we have, again, by the way, I've just jumbled up all the 26 points and I'm just asking the questions to Yogeshwari, which is easy for you to make a calculated decision even more. Okay. Because this is also going to go into by the way, all our entire daily life episodes are there in our landing page. So you can check them out as well. So this is more related to the graduation session. So the points that is mentioned here, continuing program after the cohort, which is the phase 3 mentoring journey path, the calendar for graduates, what is going to be the graduation day all about, preparing the certificates and the report cards and giving it to them, turning that entire thing into a celebration. So before I ask this question to Yogeshwari on her thoughts on this, let me give you a little bit of my experience. So I am one of probably the most unluckiest of childhoods I've had. Maybe because of that, from now on, literally from 2020 onwards, every single day has been the luckiest day of my life. When it comes to the reason I say unlucky, I've never experienced anything like a proper convocation where I can see my parents and my family there. I'm wearing those sash and all those things, getting the certificate, the photos, having a ball, a party, applause and everything, which even my brother experienced it. He experienced prize days and recently he got graduated as a CA. So he made Baba wear that sash and all that, whatever. But the only graduation ceremony that I can genuinely say that I enjoyed thoroughly was when I was one of the 30 lucky students to be a part of Ankur Wariku sir's launching a courses business, one of his courses. Went to Delhi, got that certificate, wore that entire thing, and I still have all those collectibles with me. They did a virtual convocation and then an in-person convocation. Virtual convocation is mandatory for everyone. In person, it's optional. If you can travel down, it's amazing. Surprisingly, 90% of the batch did a one-day travel to Delhi from whichever different parts of the globe. They traveled down and then they dispersed the very same evening. And I did that. It took a total different story altogether. Now, that is in that convocation, it was so memorable. It was so emotional. There were so many new things that happened. And that stays with you, isn't it? Those experiences stays with you. Now, we just didn't want to give people a certificate because let's face it, you go to platforms like Canva, forget about Canva. Now you go to VO3 or any of the AI tools and you tell this is the kind of certificate I need. That's it, done. It'll be ready. By the way, this is also one of the ideas we can implement for designing a certificate, Yogeshwari. So I'm just throwing it. But then to give that kind of an experience to people in which they will remember it for life, certificate, the report card with your proper CPD credits, and then that proper virtual convocation. And maybe later, when Sunsden turns hybrid or physical, we might as well have people in our house and do that entire thing, make them stay in the city wherever we are staying for a month. No, we'll have all those things for sure. When you even perceive it in that manner, Yogeshwari, what are your thoughts on having that legacy, having that impact, giving people that experience, and then graduating towards becoming a mentor, celebrating it all? It's not just the stuff that we are giving you, but what you are experiencing. And how important is speak to lead, the whole aspect of mastering communication, how those checklists, additional checklists, are met in this entire process. Your thoughts? I know it was a very, very long question. I'm sure you will do justice.
So my head is already spinning and I'm like wondering where should I start. So I'll start with the recent point that I remember, which is certificates. I'm yet to design the certificate. Obviously, I'm going to design it because I love designing and I'm the creative head of Sunsden. So thank you for the idea about VO3 and everything. I want to design the most beautiful certificate that you can ever see because I love beautiful certificates having in my hand and everything. Now, report cards, it's not just about the report cards. It actually shows your hard work. Because in the report card, Surya's idea, I really loved it. It'll have how many videos you made, how many evaluations you gave, how many speeches you gave, how was the final on your stage speech, how many credits you earned. Now, this is the proof of the skill that you have honed. Now, imagine yourself receiving the certificate probably in the month of February 2026. And then probably you have kept it, framed it, and kept it on your wall or somewhere. 2027 February, by chance you're looking at that certificate. The kind of growth that you must have had by that time. Because once you learn speaking, it always goes upwards and onwards from there. It's always you improving over and over again. So 1 year down the line, when you look at the certificate, I'll tell you what will that certificate and the report card do to you. It will make you believe that you have taken action, you have put in the effort, and it takes this much to get better at communication, which means if you put in same efforts or more efforts, you can achieve anything in your life. It's a proof of your ability that's going to stay with you forever. You might forget 10 years down the line, you might forget Yogi and Surya. You might forget that you have ever participated in a cohort like this, but the certificate will remind your efforts you had put in those 30 days, the transformations you have seen in you those 30 days. And I can even go ahead and guarantee you this. It's not about the way you speak. It's about the way you handle things. It's about the way you interact with your family. It's about the way you lead your team. It's about the way you respond to an adverse situation. Everything. In fact, I was also blown away when Surya said that within these cohorts, 30 days, we are teaching somewhere around 100 plus micro skills. And I believe we need to dig even deeper to understand what are the other transformation that is happening within an individual. And this is possible because it's not just communication. Surya and I, we are decoding psychology. We are learning that for you. We are learning human behavior. We are practicing every single day what we are teaching to you. So it's not that the lecture is only for the crowd and not for the preacher. It is first for the preacher. The preacher, if we find it difficult, we will not even teach you that. So it's going to be a proof of your hard work. It's going to be a proof of your ability, your capacity, your strength, you as your best version. And that's my opinion about all of these things.
there's another very interesting point which I think it just came out that we have added more elements as a part of the training program, which we felt was necessary. We've removed the advanced concepts, which we felt was just hyping up the stuff, but was not really creating any impact. We wanted this cohort to be zero theory, 110% application. The theory is only to accelerate the application. That's it. So we don't use any jargons. You'll not see us using any terminologies or anything of this sort. The frameworks has their names just to make it sound like chocolates, flavors, different things to eat. But otherwise, it's more of, again, the experience. And again, to simplify, at the end of the day, when we say speak to lead, S2L, whatever it is, it's just to simplify the vocabulary of this sort. But at the end, everything comes down to transformation. So most probably you will see us doing these reviews and update sessions, maybe every month, maybe every quarter, depending on the kind of upgradations that we're going to be working towards. This was definitely a part of the checklist, because whenever you create an MVP, a minimum viable product, and you test it out with the market, you have to take that feedback and create an upgraded version of it. That has to happen. Then every upgrade are just minor tweaks that keeps going on. But this is a major step up that everyone needs to do it. And the fact that we are documenting it is just to show you what are the efforts that we are putting in. Again, keeping in mind just one person, which is our ideal customer persona. I think I don't even have words to say how grateful I am to be able to experience all this. This is what we are doing right now, is what people experience on the final semester of any MBA from a proper university like Yale or something, Yale or Harvard and all. But this is what we are experiencing, documenting it, sharing it, creating real-time results, which is greater than anything that we can ever imagine out there in public, while keeping communication as the very foundation. Because we know if we don't have this, as Yogeshwari rightly pointed out, we fought like crazy. Now, even though we are polar opposites, we are aligned. It's the oppositeness that's what brings and creates that magic. And that's what it is for every human being also, right? Everyone is unique. Every leader is unique. Every approach that they take is unique. And that's what they get to find out, establish, and then blossom as a part of Speak to Lead. Wow, that really came out good, right? Okay. So big thank you, Yogeshwari, for joining today's episode. I think you will keep getting enormous amount of such valuable stuff. If you've stayed down till the end, I would love for you to share down below what has been your learning, what has been your experience. Make sure that you check all the links that is given below, because we've literally given everything away, and we're just continuing to step up and create far more resources than ever before, because we don't want to hold ourselves back at all our knowledge is absolutely for free. Every single thing, that frameworks and all we create, is for free. You just join us for the execution, only if seats are available. We'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much, Yogeshwari, for